Hello everyone, welcome back to the fourth of these. I've been trying to do videos on puzzles and analysis, but they just really aren't good. So rather just play chess since those videos are alright. Our first 1300. Yes. The Sicilian. The Sicilian. Does he play C3? Ooh, okay, hold on, he might. I always like to play knight C6 in this game for some reason, but I'm pretty sure knight F6 is better. Knight F6. I'm not worried about E5, F5, D5, or maybe even E4. So, interesting choice. I think I'm just gonna play A6 and move on with my life. Still not high enough rated that my win and lose are equal score, but hopefully I don't lose. But it's likely. I've been on a hot streak, so usually it goes downhill. Can't always be playing well. A3. A3. Do I just push D5? Do I just say, hey, how do you feel about D5? Or do I go B5, bishop B7, and then D5? We're gonna do it, but maybe it's not best. Or maybe I'll just go E6 and then D5, actually. E6, D5. I'm also opening up the diagonal for my dark squared bishop, which I feel is important. Now I'm gonna go B5, just because why would I not? He's trying to defend D5. I'm gonna block his bishop. Is he gonna go... Well, is blocking the bishop, because what happens after B3? Maybe I'll just go bishop, bishop B7, develop my bishop, and I'll worry about that later. Okay. Further fortifying the center. Now I have D5. I'm fairly certain. I might actually, yeah. And then we'll take with a knight. Or I'll take with pawn, but I think take with knight. And then if takes with knight, take with pawn. If checks, bishop e7, preparing castle. This looks fine. Looks well and good. I have a very expanded queen side. Might not be the best for me. Call it an overinflated queen side. I guess I can just take with pawn. Can't really take with either knight or bishop, because then just losing a piece, right? So yeah, this... In fact, actually, if check with queen, I'm going to block with queen. Okay. It's not the case. I'm gonna attack the knight. Knight back to E2. looks good for me. Then bishop, maybe bishop e7, or maybe... Alright, but this blocks even more squares. If takes, I would take, actually, I suppose. And then takes. So maybe this is bad, actually, after takes. Maybe takes. I'm playing too fast. And didn't look at bishop f7. I've just been playing bishop takes f6. I've been playing a bit faster. Just add more content. I'm probably not talking as much in these videos because I'm just focusing. Because these are difficult games to me. Maybe not to others, but I keep seeming to mess up. But yeah, I do think bishop takes f6 is the best move. Actually, after bishop takes f6, I have queen takes e2, check. Oh, but then knight takes. So maybe I take, and he has to move this knight sometime. But I have a very strong queen side. It probably wasn't best to push the pawn. Alright. I'm gonna open up the game because the way I view it, I'm down in material. Well, I'm not down in material, but my pawn structure is worse. So what I should do is open up the game to get the most counterplay is what I'm thinking. Maybe incorrect. Oh my lord. Is it bad that I'm this terrible at chess? Or, like, is it some sort of mental illness that I can't seem to not mess up in this game? So bad. This is what I get for not thinking. This is so disappointing. Oh well. Whatever. I'll play, this is anti-chess now. See, I'm playing with an anti. I'm playing with a handicap. You see, it's handicap chess. That sounds terrible, actually. Probably shouldn't say that. Actually, bishop takes HA was totally fine. It's totally the move. And if he castled, I would take his knight and be done with it. I have the bishop pair at least, so that's something I have to keep. It's one of my few counter moves. Yeah. This is really quite annoying that I miss the obvious tactics. The tactical puzzles I see every day. Really need to beat myself up on these things because I obviously can't learn just by seeing them over and over again. There needs to be some psychological resistance to making these terrible moves, or else never gonna be at all decent at chess. But I'm gonna be down material. It's pretty bad. But I have the bishop pair. I have a well expanded queen side. Who knows? Maybe it'll end up well for me. Probably not. Well, you know what? Maybe it is fine. I think I'm just gonna... Yeah, if I can capture... Well, so long as I can capture both the knights, but that is unlikely to happen. Alright. I have to take this knight. So, materials +1 for my opponent, but I don't know. Might be worse for me. I think I have to push f5 at some point. If knight e4, definitely f5. Okay. I'm gonna take the pawn. Then he's gonna do knight e5. And then I'm gonna take the knight. And or maybe I'll just go... Maybe I'll just go this for preparing f5. Bishop g5, I mean. And that is gonna pin down the knight. So seems decent. I have to find at least intelligent strategies, or else I'm gonna lose. If I can get up an exchange, I will be completely fine. So if I can trade any of my bishop or my... Okay. We're gonna pin the knight as planned. Probably rook over. Then I think I check and take the pawn. No. I'm thinking takes, and check. But then I'm not winning. So Guess bishop h6. I'm gonna have to get my knight in at some point. I guess bishop h6, knight to d7 at some point, or knight to c6. No, knight to d7, knight to f4, knight to g4, and then knight to e3. Yeah, so this is pretty good as well. Black stuff. Diagonal. Now I think I'm not gonna do what I... Pretty interesting h3. I'm assuming they want to move the rook to the g file. And I guess they don't rook to g4 maybe? I guess rook to g4 was an option. Actually, I should have played rook to g4 at some point. Okay, now I get this in check. Wheel. Who knows what to do? I don't think really have anything. Oh. Yeah, I do. Knight to e5. Knight takes, and it doesn't matter if takes because takes, so... Alright. Because there's this pin here, which is just very strong. It's just what I needed in this position in order to attain any sort of advantage. I'm up pawns. At the very least I have that. So yeah, I've managed to equalize the material. I think my position is strong. So sorry for not talking so much, but talking, I didn't realize that making videos on chess was going to be more difficult, because talking while playing is actually, it's more difficult than I thought it would be. It's not the worst pain I've ever had to go through, but it's pretty difficult. But what I'm thinking is here, okay, take. I take. This is starting to look more and more fine for me. I think bishop e3 next. Just getting my pieces developed. This is the second move with this knight in this game. Okay, but then it's just a trade, right? So, not concerned. I want trades. And yeah. Now I'm just going to play for some sort of victory. Because I am up material. Wow. That was crazy. King. Get the kings in the game. Push f4. If h4. Then g4. If rook g1, then takes this. Then push. Wow. Not many moves for my opponent. Hell. I might even go bishop g4. And if captures, I'm gonna win. And if captures with pawn, then check, I get the rook, so. Yep. Now I have the opposition. I'm definitely going to get a queen. Okay. Queen time. I'm not going to pre-move, just in case, because I knew my opponent was going to do something like that. So yeah, looking like a winning endgame for me. That was scary in the middle there. They resign. Wait. Oh, they want a rematch. Jesusmongolian. Well, cool. I'll rematch. Playing as white. We're gonna do the ready opening. They probably I don't know. The Black Mustang Defense. That's a sexy name. I'm gonna go d5. Now knight f3 is incorrect. But now it's the Yep, that one. Mykeness. That's not how you pronounce it. E5. C4. It's explosive, they say. Just can't even put up the effort to make jokes anymore. But this is gonna be a long video. It's gonna be a 2-for-1, baby. That's pretty great. Against Jesus Mongolian or Jesus Mongolian. From if they are Venezuelan, then yes. We'll just go Queen E2, and I am unworried. If knight takes D4, then queen takes queen. If queen takes D4, then knight takes queen, so it's not as though the D4 pawn is free. And I'm just getting castle and great development and all around having a good time. Thinking black with bishop just to not ruin my pawn structure, but I think it's fine because I get an open b5 with my rook. I'm gonna castle kingside anyways. Pawn structures are important in endgames, but this is still quite in the beginning of a game. And c3 is great. It attacks the knight, stops the knight from making some moves. Thinking bishop e f4, attacks the c7 pawn. Feels pretty good. What to do? If king d8, that runs castling for them, so that's great for me. And also, if king d8, knight e5. Then I'm gonna bust to open the center if we trade knights with d5 and just try to make this as open a game as possible. I have rooks and bishops. Take advantage of their prowess in open games. The more closed this game, the worse it's going to be for me, so that's what I gotta do. Alright. And then, yes, knight to d5, knight to e5, threatening knight f7, and basically sort of a right back at you buckaroo sort of a situation. Do I take with pawn, or do I think I take with bishop? And then f6, so maybe I do take with pawn. And then, like, bishop somewhere, bishop e3 looks fine. Got rook d8 now. In fact, well, yeah. So yeah, it was better. I just opened up files for my rooks. Rook d8, check, or do I cancel first? This game has ended up fairly decent for me overall. Okay, rook d8 check isn't gonna happen. I'm gonna castle though. And I don't know about you, but to me, black does not look developed. Not nearly compared to my pieces. So that's good for me. And also, king e7 was bad. Probably should have done king e8 because he's blocked development for his knight, which not good for them. I think jesusmongolian could really learn more about just development, piece activity, opening fundamentals. Not to be rude or anything, just what I've noticed they could improve upon. I could improve upon a lot of things too. Bishop, yes. After this, we got rook d1, rook d6 is what I'm looking at, and then rook d1. And that's pretty crushing. I'm gonna do bishop. I'm gonna attack the rook. Bishop f3, attacking the rook on a8. Alright, moves the rook. Do I take, or do I just go rook d6? Or maybe I'll go bishop. Bishop f4, g5, bishop g3, h5, h3. Yeah, I want to keep this pawn, and it's not like my bishop's doing good on that diagonal anyway, so this is just improving. Keep the advantages while we have them. I really do enjoy a piece on that square just because of how much it's blocking this knight's development. It's very annoying for black to have a pawn there. What to do next? I guess black can go. Yeah, well, what I was talking about earlier. Or maybe black goes bishop b7 is the only other move I really see. Wow. Opening up more diagonals for my bishops. Huh. Weird. Rook d6. I guess I could have gone h4, preventing g5, but rook d6 seemed sufficient afterwards. Bishop e3, maybe. It's kind of difficult for, or even h3 worked as well. I guess I should have done those because now my bishop's sort of gonna lag behind in development. Well, my bishop's gonna make developing my piece, my rook on a1 a lot harder if he goes g5. Because if he goes g5, I can't go g3 because f4, and that's just bad for me. So I have to go d2 and then rook d1. All right, that makes sense. If g4, bishop c6, rook d1, bishop c1, and probably got some sort of advantage going for me. Yeah. These videos probably aren't very interesting to watch, but that's fine because they're really just video logs, so vlogs for me just to look at my games, and watching these has actually been very educational for me and has really helped me see the board in a different way, in a better way. So this has been really good for me. If you enjoy these, that's great. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. This is just how I'm making these videos. But yeah, I think I'm done for the day after this. Chess is my greatest passion, I think. At least currently. I'm also trying to learn programming. Just a little intro to my life so far. Bishop b7 is a blunder for them because I get rook d7 check and I get the bishop. Or even more if king e8. Alright. Gonna go rook to d1. Oh. Very good position for me, I feel. Maybe not. Maybe I have been miscalculating this the entire time. I have bishop back to f4. Uncontested bishop. Finally gets to develop their knight, which is good for them. Going to go bishop to d7. I guess they have knight to g6. If bishop takes, I take with rook, pinning the knight, and if rook goes to d8, I will just move my bishop, and L as well. And a rook on 7 is in heaven, I believe is how the phrase goes. So I can't be upset with this position. This knight this rook is being attacked. Wow. Way to blunder one position. This is what I get. Overconfidence is my greatest weakness. What was that? Who misses who misses the fact that the knight's attacking the rook? My opponent probably doesn't believe I made a blunder. So they're gonna make a blunder right back. This is good for me. Now that that was so bad for me. That was terrible. That was terrible. I didn't even realize. And I think that was a completely blundered piece at that point. Well, no, I guess I had rook to d3. Oh, wow. Crazy that I missed that. Oh, well. It went from winning to losing to winning. So I'm just going to focus on the current position, which I hope is winning if I'm looking at it right. Might have to change my eyes or something. Cleanse my third eye, my chakras, or something. Because I've been missing everything. But, what do they do at this point in the game? They are doing that. Rook takes. Attack. I guess knight c6 and then rook d6. Or knight back to c8 is the best move, I think. And then it's just get the king in the game. There really isn't that great of a way to get the king in the game. My opponent has actually kind of locked up the position, which is exactly what I didn't want. So that sucks. So yeah, knight to c6 is a blunder. I guess rook to e8 is another move, but I take a7, which is really what I'm threatening. He could do rook to a8, but then I would take his knight. So he could go king to f7, but then the knight's pinned. So that's terrible. You could go rook to h7. Once again, the knight's sort of pinned because I take a7. I guess it's not totally pinned. Alright. Now I just have to get my king in the game. This knight's basically pinned because if it moves, I'm going to attack this pawn or take that pawn. This rook could go to h7. Rook h7 is actually probably the best move. No, I guess then I have rook d8. And then knight, and then rook, and then knight, and then, well, then I guess, here, but then knight, so not that. Don't know what my opponent's doing. I guess this pins the rook to the 8th file, to the 8th row. So maybe that's a good move. I'm probably going to win on time. This is I'm sure it's winning, but it is still tricky. There's still plenty of moves in this position. Both sides. G3 definitely doesn't work though. H3 doesn't work. King H5. Rook F8. Yeah, it could be a king move. I'm just worried about rook d8 check. I don't really want that to come with tempo or at all. Don't want to give my opponent any ideas. Probably fine. As long as the d1 square is guarded. And even then, if not, then I'm gonna take his knight, so, I've given it, but you're gonna be hard pressed to find any squares. You have d3 and d1. Okay. Rook c6. Gotta put my king back to e2. And as it is now the more interesting part of the board to play. Oh, yes. I'm pretty sure he's just been moving the rook back and forth whenever. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, I haven't missed rook takes e6. So that's good. I was just making sure of that. This is going to be a very, well, probably not. I have a sizable time advantage, though whether that's going to be critical is yet to be seen. I'm looking at g3 per f4. G3 f4 really is what I'm looking at right now. And if rook d8, rook takes e6 check, and I'm not worried. Okay. Pen trash is now online. We're gonna go g3. I'm almost certain we don't take g3, f4. Maybe not. I'm doing f4. I'm expecting en passant, but if not en passant, I'm kind of screwed. So maybe this isn't a good idea. I probably actually should have opened the position. I did say earlier I should open the position, but my opponent's gonna lose on time at this rate. They have to keep making good moves. I'm gonna go f3 then, which is gonna be more forcing. f3 and bishop there. Once again, king. Now I have a square. My king can infiltrate into the board, which is one of the things we've been working on the entire game. Yeah, it's interesting. I guess I have check. Knight e7 blunders to rook b7. Maybe Who knows? But what I meant to do, I didn't mean to draw. I meant to actually push g4. So I lost winning endgame, which is very disappointing. I need to be a lot better at endgames because that is unacceptable. Yeah, completely winning and I'm just blundering the game away like a complete buffoon. That's a missed win? Was there something else? I'm so upset with myself. Why would I play such terrible games? This is really unacceptable behavior. I can't be happy with myself playing those types of games. Who could be happy with themselves playing those types of games? I don't understand what you want me to find a game. Oh, right. H4. That's right. There's a tactic here that I must have missed. Of course. Of course, I'm sure I missed something. Miss everything, apparently. Oh, rook d8, of course. Oh, that's winning for black, apparently. Great. Glad to know I completely misplayed this position. That really fills me with happiness. This is good. That's what I wanted. Let's rook to d3, of course. And I'm just gaining an advantage. I should have taken. I don't know why I didn't take. I told myself, oh, I should take. This is this seemed fine, but whatever. Just check. That's what I played. I have so quit doing. As you already played. K4. Is it? It's not G4. It's a bishop move. Bishop H6, baby. Bishop C1 or bishop F2? Bishop D1? D2, I mean, bishop G1. I'm too tired and just disappointed to figure that out. I don't know what they want. No way it's takes. I've already played? Why not? No, it's bishop f4. I thought it said bishop f4 was a blunder, but that was previous position. G3, G4, G4. All I had to do, well, I couldn't push G4 in this position, but even rook C7 is fine. Just anything other than bishop E3. Bishop D2 is fine. Bishop C1. It's completely fine. What's the best move? Oh, king f2. Okay. Well, now I'll know not to make a threefold repetition in winning positions, not to blunder rooks. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just really tired, and I hope you all have a good one. See ya.